In the quiet towns of America, sometimes the loudest stories are the ones whispered behind closed doors. And in 1966, Hollywood brought one of those stories to life, a story of fear, anger, secrets, and the kind of small-town tension that crackles like electricity in the air. This is The Chase, directed by Arthur Penn, starring Marlon Brando, Jane Fonda, Robert Redford, Angie Dickinson, and a cast so powerful that even the background characters feel like they're hiding something. But behind the camera, behind the story, behind the performances, there are hidden truths, strange choices, studio battles, and moments of pure chaos that shaped the final movie, not into the movie itself, but into everything you never knew about The Chase. Relax, and let's begin the journey. Fact 1. The movie that wasn't supposed to be this dark. When The Chase was first written, it wasn't meant to be this heavy, political, or violent. The original story by Horton Foote had a softer, more human tone, more about relationships and less about mob fury. But when director Arthur Penn took over, he added layers of tension, social anger, and moral decay. Penn had a vision, a movie that exposed America's cracks. The studio wasn't happy, but more on that later. Fact 2. Marlon Brando took the role to pay his bills. You'd think Marlon Brando chose this film for artistic reasons, right? Actually, he needed money. Brando was going through expensive personal issues, including payments from his divorce, costing him a fortune. So when he saw The Chase offered a big, quick paycheck, he took it. Still, even with money as the motivation, Brando delivered one of his most underrated performances as sheriff, trying to hold a broken town together. Fact 3. Robert Redford almost quit the movie. Robert Redford, playing the escaped convict Bubba Reeves, wasn't happy with the script changes. He felt his character became too secondary and didn't have enough emotional depth. Redford even told friends he was ready to walk away. Producers begged him to stay, promising rewrites which only partially happened. But Redford stayed, and the film helped push his rising career even higher. Fact 4. Arthur Penn hated the final cut. Yes, the director hated the movie. Penn's original cut was more emotional, more character-centered, and more artistic. But the studio Columbia Pictures thought his version was too slow and too art house. So they cut scenes, altered pacing, and added music Penn didn't want. Penn later said, "The movie you saw was not the movie I made." Fact 5. A town that felt too real. The fictional town of Tarl was filmed in Edna, Texas, and parts of Louisiana. Residents said the crew transformed their town so realistically into a place of corruption and violence that it was almost uncomfortable to walk around during filming. Shops, roads, bars, everything was altered to match the mood of a collapsing community. Many locals even got small roles as extras, giving the scenes an authentic small-town feel. Fact 6. Real fights broke out on set. The mob scenes in the movie get wild, angry men, broken bottles, shouting crowds. But here's what you didn't know. Some extras got too immersed in their angry roles. Several background fights were actually real fights. The director wanted rawness, so he encouraged people to let loose. And they did maybe a bit too much. At one point, Brando reportedly stepped in to break up an actual brawl. Fact 7. Jane Fonda said the film was too intense for 1966. Jane Fonda, who played Anna Reeves, said in interviews that the movie's themes, racism, violence, drunken rage, and moral corruption, made audiences uncomfortable at the time. According to Fonda, America wasn't ready for a story that honest. It pushed topics many films avoided. And that boldness is why the movie feels modern even today. Fact 8. This was Angie Dickinson's most difficult role. Angie Dickinson played Ruby Calder, a woman trapped in an emotional mess. She later admitted this was one of the hardest performances of her career because the tension on set was real, the scenes were emotionally draining, and the characters had almost no relief from the stress. Unlike her glamorous roles, this movie required raw vulnerability and discomfort. Fact 9. A young actor had to be removed for safety. A teenage extra playing one of the wild drunken boys became too reckless during filming. He kept pushing boundaries, throwing props too hard, and ignoring safety instructions. After he accidentally injured another actor during a scene, the crew removed him for everyone's safety. The movie's chaos wasn't always acting. Fact 10. The film was a critically divided war. When The Chase dropped in 1966, critics were split right down the middle. Some called it a masterpiece of tension. Others said a confused mess. The movie mixed drama, politics, romance, mob anger, and social commentary all at once, and some audiences felt overwhelmed. But today, many modern critics consider it underrated and ahead of its time. Fact 11. A symbolic color palette everyone missed. If you watch carefully, Arthur Penn uses color as a secret storytelling tool. Red appears when violence is near. Blue shows up in moments of hope or truth. Yellow signals corruption or decay. These choices weren't random. Penn came from a theater background. He used colors the way stage directors use lighting. Most viewers never noticed this hidden layer. Fact 12. The alcohol was sometimes real. Many scenes involve characters drinking. But here's the twist. Some actors used real alcohol during certain takes. They felt it helped the chaotic, exhausted, and morally lost atmosphere of the town. Of course, the studio wasn't thrilled about that, but Penn allowed it as long as it helped the performance and didn't ruin continuity. Fact 13. Brando refused to rehearse most of his scenes. Classic Brando. He believed rehearsing made acting feel artificial. So he showed up, read the lines once or twice, and delivered spontaneous performances. This frustrated several actors who preferred preparation, but it also gave the sheriff's character a naturally tired, unpredictable energy. Penn worked around Brando's style instead of fighting it. Fact 14. A scene was filmed in one take because everything went wrong. During one emotional moment, a prop car was supposed to stop safely. Instead, it almost crashed into equipment. Actors reacted in genuine fear, and Penn kept the take because it looked real. Sometimes accidents create movie magic. Fact 15. The music score was changed without the director's permission. Penn wanted a quiet, subtle score. The studio wanted something more dramatic and mainstream. So after Penn finished editing, Columbia Pictures hired a team to rework the soundtrack, making scenes louder and more intense than he intended. Penn was furious but powerless. This was before directors had final cut rights. Fact 16. The film was too honest about racism for its time. In 1966, America was in the middle of the civil rights movement. Most studios avoided racial tension, but The Chase showed drunken racist mobs' prejudice and the cruel power structures of small-town life. Some southern states refused to screen the movie because they said it misrepresented their culture, even though many critics argued the movie showed the truth. Fact 17. Marlon Brando was bored on set. Brando admitted in interviews that he felt emotionally disconnected from the movie because the studio kept interfering. He said he felt like he was just clocking in and out. But ironically, that boredom created a unique performance, a sheriff tired of everyone, tired of the town, tired of the madness. The emotion accidentally matched the character. Fact 18. Robert Duvall loved this movie. Unlike others, Robert Duvall, who played a nervous local banker, absolutely loved working on The Chase. He admired Arthur Penn, respected the cast, and enjoyed exploring a complex character. Duvall said the movie helped prepare him for deeper dramatic roles later in his career, including The Godfather. Fact 19. The final scene was completely rewritten. The ending you see in the film was not the original ending in the script. Penn wanted something more symbolic. Foote wanted something more emotional. And the studio wanted something faster and more shocking. So the ending was rewritten multiple times, sometimes even on the day of filming. What you see is a compromise between three different visions, each fighting for control. Fact 20. The movie was a preview of the new Hollywood era. Many film historians consider The Chase one of the early films that foreshadowed the new Hollywood movement, the era of darker, more personal, more realistic films in the late 1960s and 1970s. Movies like Bonnie and Clyde, Easy Rider, and Taxi Driver would follow. And Arthur Penn became one of the leading voices of that shift. The Chase wasn't just a movie. It was a turning point. So there you have it, the hidden truths behind The Chase, 1966. A movie filled with tension, chaos, artistic battles, and performances loaded with real emotion. Some movies entertain, some movies tell a story, and some movies like The Chase reveal a whole world of secrets behind every frame. If you enjoyed this Hollywood history, hit that like button, subscribe for more movie breakdowns, and let me know which film you want to explore next.